Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live predictions for the Royal Rumble. I am here with the Ring Review. Go check him out on here on YouTube. I'm live on his show ever so often. We kind of coordinate back and forth on whose show we go live on. So, is there anything you need to say, the Ring Review?
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. Royal Rumble is probably my favorite pay-per-view of the year,
Oh, yeah.
and just can't wait for it.
And before we start the show, we are going to kind of go over a week in review for the WWE because it's been a huge week for the WWE. A lot of lows, but there has been some highs. And so, first off, let's say hello, Ray Underwood. He said, "Hello, Brayton. How are you doing, brother? Glad to see you up in here." And then I was kind of just telling him we were coming on a little bit late. And so, let's talk about this week. Would you like to start off and mention something,
Yeah.
whatever?
Well, yeah, we can start off with this was we could I'll just go through the week. I think this was on either Sunday or Monday. WWE made a deal with Netflix for $5 billion to have Raw on Netflix in 2025 going forward. That's huge, huge.
Oh yes, huge, huge, huge for them. I mean, that's a huge deal. So very excited for that. Straight Up Wrestling Show is up in here. Hey there, Harry, Chris, whichever one of you guys it is. Go check out the Straight Up Wrestling Show if you are watching right now. I'm always on their show. Love that podcast. But yeah, like he said, the Raw deal with Netflix is huge. That's huge for the WWE.
For sure. I mean, and then we had Seth Rollins announcing his injury, which went better than I expected it. I didn't think he would say he was going to try to be back for Mania. I genuinely thought he was going to lose the title that night, but you know what? I'm fine with it, and that's great for him. So I'm glad he doesn't think he'll be out too long.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So would you like to share the next thing that happened this week?
Yeah, for sure. I'll go through a few of them, and because this was all pretty much the same day, but so we got Ava Raine is NXT general manager, huge. Now all three shows have general managers. William Regal is back in the WWE.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, one of the lows of the week was the Vince McMahon allegations. Um,
And we're not going to get too into
crazy.
that, but we'll
No, no,
say Vince
absolutely
McMahon,
not.
we won't be hearing from him for a while, hopefully, and hopefully he'll take some time in prison if it comes out to
Yep,
be
for
true.
sure.
But yeah, with the Ava,
Absolutely.
I do kind of want to say something about that. I believe that they're trying to find something for her to do because of who is she related to, because we know it's The Rock.
Yeah.
And we saw her wrestle, and we saw that it was not very good at all. She doesn't have that great in ring talent. So I think they're really trying to find something for her to do, and I think it could add some character to her. And so I'm excited to see what this leads to. Ray Underwood says, "Hey Harry, glad to have you all up in here today." But yeah, I mean, a lot of some great stuff happened. William Regal, that's huge. I don't know who he. I think he's probably going to end up managing his son, Charlie Dempsey. But I personally would like to see him manage British Strong Style, Tyler Bate, and Pete Dunne.
I disagree.
So what would you like to see him
Yeah,
manage?
I think he'll go to British strong style.
I hope so. I sure hope so.
That'd be awesome. But okay, now we have one of the highs of the week. The Rock is now on the TKO board of directors.
Yes, yes, that's huge. That's huge.
Really big. Then now one of the lows of the week. Sadly, Kevin Patrick was released from WWE. I never really thought he was that bad, and they didn't have to release him. He could have been a backstage interviewer or a kickoff show panel host or
I was saying.
something.
Yeah, because he did a great job with his um interviewing in the back whenever they would let him do that. I think he's got that voice to be an announcer. He just couldn't catch on to wrestling. I don't think wrestling is his sport that he should be announcing play by play. And Straight Up Wrestling Show says, "I'm glad she is GM. I like her, but she has but she was a horrible wrestler. Very, very true. And then Ray Underwood says, Braden got to support our Straight Up Wrestling Show family. That's why I'm here. Yep, got to support the family, Ray. And then the Straight Up Wrestling Show says, What's up, Ray? So glad to have you all in here to support the Straight Up Wrestling Show family. But yeah, Kevin Patrick, I don't think he had to be fired. I liked his voice. I don't know what it was, but I just feel like it was a nice kind of tone. I enjoyed Kevin
Yeah,
Patrick.
I agree with you.
So is
And
that
then tonight,
oh
tonight obviously Vince McMahon was resigned from the board of directors, and this isn't as big. The Royal Rumble number picker bingo thing's back, which is really cool.
yeah.
And then obviously we still have Royal Rumble tomorrow, which is huge. So crazy cool week for the WWE. But I think we have another comment.
Well, sorry. What'd you say? I didn't quite hear what you said at the end.
I said, is there another comment there?
Oh yeah, yep. We have another comment
Yeah.
here. My dad, Brad's Collection, said, "I'm sure Ava will
Oh,
continue training at the Performance Center to see if she can get better, and I hope she can get better, definitely." And then the Straight Up Wrestling Show says, "I am shocked by the Patrick news. I definitely was as well." And also to add on to all of that, we also got new women's champions. It, I think that's just women's tag team champions. I think that's crazy because these tag titles have no meaning right now. Definitely to me, I don't think they're worth anything. Nobody has had a long reign with them to add any prestige. So honestly, these titles don't mean anything. But with the name value of Asuka and Kairi Sane, it definitely could add to it. 100%.
1,000%. But there is everything that happened this week. A really crazy week. So now I think it's time to get into the Royal Rumble predictions.
Oh yeah, and then the Straight Up Wrestling Show says, hopefully Brad's Collection. Yep, hopefully. So let's get into these predictions. Do we want to start off with the U.S. title match? Because it's probably going to be like the weakest, less hyped up match for the entire card.
Good, good
All
with
right,
me.
so this would be the champion, Logan Paul, the current U.S. champion, versus Kevin Owens. So would you like to start this off and give your opinion on who you think is going to win this?
Yeah, so I really liked that thing they did at the Performance Center where they had Logan training and then Kevin Owens coming in, then getting into a brawl. That's really cool, really built to this match. But I have Logan Paul retaining, especially since he just signed the new contract with the WWE. So yeah, I think Logan's gonna continue this US title run.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I definitely think Logan needs to keep it going because he has not been that fighting champion like we all want to see from him. I mean, he has only had one defense, and he has won this all the way since Crown Jewel, and they had to have this long, stretched out tournament just to figure out who his first opponent's going to be. But to have a little bit of a meaningful reign, he's going to need at least one title defense that he wins. And so I think he'll be taking down Kevin Owens. This is one of those things that it's going to help improve Logan Paul, but this is not going to hurt Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is just Kevin Owens. He does not need this match. And so, yeah, I'm definitely taking Logan Paul for this match. And then we also have the Straight Up Wrestling Show saying Cage and Katana should still be champions, although they're not as big names as Asuka. I definitely agree with that. I was just saying,
Yeah.
like, if anybody was going to beat them, it might as well be them. But I think that was a dumb match to book in the first place because I wouldn't want either one of those tag teams losing because Damage Control is building themselves up, and while they're also trying to bring up the title, I guess you could say, worth for the titles. I don't think anybody that just shouldn't have been a match.
Yep.
All right, so for the second match, do we want to kind of save the Royal Rumbles for last and do Roman
Good with
Reigns
me.
and all that? All
Let's
right,
see if
so
we can get this in here.
this is going to be for the undisputed title and the current champion Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles versus the megastar LA Knight and the Viper Randy Orton. So I'll let you go first on this one. Who do you got?
I have Roman Reigns. There's no way he's losing it. Losing it at night, or tomorrow night. Sorry, but I was obviously a little possibility, but I doubt it. And I think LA Knight is sadly gonna take the pin in this match here.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. So yeah, I'm right with that. Roman Reigns has this long title reign, and so he's definitely going into WrestleMania as champion. I don't see otherwise. And honestly, looking at this match, I see it as Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. LA Knight already got his shot. He's not going to get
Mhm.
it this time. AJ Styles is in that point of his career to where he's not going to win another title, at least right now, with how stacked, I guess, the roster is right now. It's just not his time. But yeah, I mean, definitely got to go with Roman Reigns. I think he could even hold it past WrestleMania. Now's not the time for him to lose it.
Oh, for sure. No, agree with you there for sure.
Oh yeah, and then straight up wrestling show says Randy is gonna take it, no doubt.
Oh,
All right. So we got some mixed opinions about this match. All right, so I guess we'll do the women's rumble next. Apologize, but
oh,
so do we
all
want
good. For this
some?
match so far, well, I was gonna go ahead and just run through who's announced for it already, and then we can kind of go from there on who's gonna win. So, first up, we have Becky Lynch announced, Bailey announced, Nia Jax and Bianca Belair announced for the Women's Royal Rumble. Normally, there's a lot more than 4 people announced for the Rumble, so this is really cool to see.
Yeah, I'm
But
glad. I like for every single entrance to be a surprise. It just really adds to it. Oh, and so the straight up wrestling show was saying Randy's gonna take the pin
oh, okay. Well, I actually disagree with that, but
because then he said Roman's definitely not losing that belt right now. Yeah, definitely
mm,
agree with that straight up wrestling show.
yeah. Well, you want to give your prediction for the Women's Rumble, or do you want to say who you think could return in it?
I think we could probably do like the returns for it doesn't
Okay.
matter whichever way we want to do it.
If you want to do the returns now, then that's all right with me.
All right, so I'm kind of doing not really kind of a mix of returns, debuts. I just kind of put surprise entrances,
Yeah.
and if you have an extra, just add it to my list. I got first up a returning Liv Morgan. I think that's definitely going to happen,
Yeah.
and then I also think it's to call up Tiffany Stratton. Definitely time to call her up.
Okay.
And then I think Jade Cargill is finally going to make her in ring debut. And then I think Naomi is going to be returning. I mean, it kind of all adds up to that with her with her contract ending um TNA. I always want to call it Impact. I think she's definitely going to
Yeah.
be returning. And then we got AJ Lee. It all just adds up with the return of CM Punk and all that. I even if she's not there like full time, I see her maybe returning at the Royal Rumble, having a match at WrestleMania, then probably not doing anything after that. And then after that, probably the most valuable free agent right now, Sasha Banks or Mercedes Monet.
Yeah.
So is there any you
Now,
add to that?
you named pretty much all of them. I think Naomi's a 100% lock. Sasha, AJ, I'm a little bit torn on. I think Sasha's like a 50-50, and I think AJ is also pretty much a 50-50. Yeah, Liv, I see Jade. I also see Roxanne Perez getting a little Rumble action here tomorrow night.
Definitely possible. My dad Brad's collection says, "How about Camille?" And I actually forgot about Camille. I don't know if they want to have her come in right now. I don't know if she has the name value to do that. I don't know if they want her to just return in NXT. I don't really know what they see in her. I guess we would really have to wait, but I do like Camille though.
Yeah? Who do you
Definitely.
think's taking this one?
I I'm gonna have to take Bailey. I feel like the storylines all just point to Bailey. All the lines connect with the whole damage control storyline. That's all that really makes sense to me.
Okay, so I actually have Becky Lynch.
Yeah, that was
Um,
like my number two. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, the reason I have that is like I feel like she's been so vocal about how she wants to face Rhea and Mania and take all the gold to damage control. So why would she pick Io if she wants Rhea? They could do a turn in the Rumble, but is Io gonna even be in the Rumble? I think Io needs to be a part of that turn. So maybe that could happen in Elimination Chamber. That way you get Kabuki Warriors versus maybe Sasha and Naomi, and then you could do Bailey versus Io Sky at Mania, and then obviously we'll go Rhea and Becky at Mania.
That's actually not that bad. I never actually kind of thought of it like that. That's a pretty neat idea that I haven't heard before. So that's a cool kind of outlook.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we got the men's Royal Rumble. And so, do you want to kind of go down your surprise entrance, and then I'll just kind of add on to that if I have any more?
I got this little setup here. I've been working on it the past few days. Just some stuff that I think could happen in the Rumble. Um, but I think that. Sorry here. Okay. Now I think first of all, people who are announced are Cody, Shinsuke Nakamura, Gunther, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, CM Punk, Bobby Lashley, R-Truth, Santos Escobar, and Jimmy Uso. So already a stacked field in this Rumble match. But some of the
But
returns that I actually have.
our truth.
Oh,
No
what's up?
one compares to our truth. We know that.
Yeah, like he's winning. It's obvious. So some returns that I see happening are Andrade. His contract is up over at AEW. He could
I feel like
always
he's
return.
almost 100%. I like it all adds up.
Yeah,
Charlotte Flair and everything. He's almost 100%.
for sure. Then I got possibly this is a very possible one. Seeing Ricochet in the Rumble. Still don't know his injury status, but I threw him in there just in case to see what happens. We got Sheamus again. Don't know the injury status. Let's see what happens. We got Braun Strowman. Once again, don't know. There goes everything. Oh, there goes absolutely everything. Okay. Once again, don't know the injury status of Braun Strowman, but it'd be cool to see him back. Another one where we don't know the injury status is Big E. Obviously, very, very, very 50-50 with this one. Um,
But it would be just
but
such
then I have,
that'd be such a great moment because I
oh,
mean he's one of those guys that we thought would never return, kind of like a Randy Orton situation where we're like doctors are saying that he may never hit the ring again, and so I don't know.
yeah, for sure. And then another one I have from NXT, Carmelo Hayes. I'll just go through my NXTs. We got Braun Breaker, Trick Williams, and Ilya Dragunov. That is all the returns that I have over here. What about you?
All right, so yeah, I had Andrade, Braun Breaker. I feel like Braun Breaker, his time is now, and they can't keep pushing it behind because he's just seen as this big threat, and I don't want that to kind of end. And then we also got MJF. I don't think it's gonna happen, but you just gotta kind of acknowledge it. And then you got
Yeah.
Matt Cardona. I mean, if you watch his podcast, he shut down his bookings for kind of around this area.
Oh,
So
yeah. So, by the way, you know how Jericho does his Jericho Cruise every year?
yeah.
So that it started today. It's tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. Matt Cardona is booked for a match on the cruise, so he is out in the ocean right now. So I do not see him in the Rumble at all.
Oh wow, I actually never heard about that. And Ray Underwood says
Yeah.
Randy will take it. Straight Up Wrestling Show says it will be horrible if they don't give Braun his shot. Definitely, it is so dumb if he doesn't get a chance to shine. I will be so mad if that happens. And also on top of that, I do think if Matt Cardona does return, which yeah, I didn't know about what you just said, so clearly it's not going to happen. But if he was, I feel like Steph DeLander would have came with him, like his little friend that he's
Ooh.
Indies that he's kind of making a star out of right now. I think she could have came with him. Another possibility, one that probably won't happen, but got to kind of show it as a possibility. Shawn Spears. I know he the reason he left AEW was to go be a father because Peyton Royce, his wife or girlfriend, I don't know what their relationship status is
They're married, yeah.
oh, all right. They're going to go have a baby, but why not like a one-time show up, be the perfect 10, come out at number 10? I think that'd be a pretty fun moment. And then after that, we got Okada. And Okada is an interesting one because he's got the name
Mhm.
value to be at the top of his game, but at the same time, some people don't know who he is. So you would think he would go down to NXT. So I don't really know with him.
Well, I've also heard that his contract runs out on the 31st of January, so he technically wouldn't be able to be in the Rumble
Oh,
until
wow.
that time. So, yeah,
Dang, I actually didn't
I
know
know.
about.
I was really hoping for Matt Cardona to be in the Rumble, and then I found that today. I was like, damn it,
Yeah,
Jericho, you always mess everything up.
yeah, I wanted him in there because, like Matt Cardona, when he was in the WWE, he was an absolute joke. I mean, he got kind of his U.S. title reign, but he was never taken absolutely seriously. Now he's got this mean heel. I think he could really be taken seriously, not as like a world title kind of guy, but definitely like as a mid card guy going against like these big faces like LA Knight. And also we got the Straight Up Wrestling Show says Jungle Boy is gonna show up. That would be cool. I wouldn't mind that. I'm a big fan of Jungle Boy.
I think he's in Japan though, for New Japan,
Oh,
but
really?
I don't know if he's contracted. He
Oh,
might just be there. Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. Yeah. Ray Underwood says, I believe they might call Braun up and bring Corbin with him to possibly go after the tag titles because they are a strong tag team. And I agree with the strong tag team part, but it's definitely possible they do this. But Braun is not a tag team guy. Braun is so good that he's a solo guy that could be going after a world title. He should not be being held back by a tag team division. The tag team division is already stacked. They don't need it. The Street Profits could benefit from that kind of stuff. The AOP, the Alpha Academy, Imperium, the Creed brothers. That would be I would really be mad about that. But it's still possible, Ray. I see what you mean on that one.
For sure. Now, who do you think is winning the men's Rumble match? Unless you had any more returns there.
I did not. I did not had no more
All
returns.
right.
My So my kind of thing is it's not what I want to happen, but it's what I think is going to happen, and that's CM Punk. I feel like it all just leads to CM Punk. It seems kind of guessable, but we know Triple H. I love Triple H, but he likes to be guessable. Last year, everybody's predictions was right. Everybody knew it was going to be Rhea Ripley and Cody Rhodes, and it ended up being Rhea Ripley, Cody Rhodes, just like everybody expected. So he might just go with the obvious. And I feel like the most obvious is CM Punk. I don't think Cody Rhodes has star power, but not like the type of star power like Stone Cold had when he won 2 Royal Rumbles in a row. But in CM Punk versus Seth, we all want to see it, so might as well give it to us. And before you share yours, I'm just going to go through these little comments right here. Ray Underwood says, agree with you 100%. Straight Up Wrestling Show says, exactly. Braun is incredible. He definitely needs to
Yeah.
it alone. He have put Corbin in the spotlight, and I like that too. Yeah, I that's exactly true. I love how you stated that. All right, so now would you like to share your men's Royal Rumble prediction? I think he's losing a little bit of connection right now, so I might just keep talking and come up with stuff while he's coming back on here, whatever's going on his screen. But I mean, I'm gonna have to take CM Punk because I think if MJF comes to the WWE, like that slim possibility that it happens, I believe he can. He has a chance to win because he definitely has that star power, and he's gonna if he's in WWE, he's gonna be at the top of the roster, or I guess you could say top 5 guys in the WWE. That's just how it is gonna be. There's no other way for that to happen. And so Big E, if Big E returns, we know he was at the top there for a little bit. They might try and throw him back up there just because it would be so great for him to be back. And my dad just wrote Gunther, and I was just about to talk about Gunther. I feel like Gunther is so great. He is this guy that you can take seriously. And imagine him going into WrestleMania being this Royal Rumble winner with this prestigious Intercontinental Championship around his shoulder. And with him having a match against Seth Rollins, if he wasn't to win this, because I don't see him going after Roman. I think that, hold on, he's coming back in, but I think that he has a possibility to go in there looking like that strong guy. Maybe he would wrestle WrestleMania Night 1 against Seth Rollins and WrestleMania Night 2 defending his Intercontinental Championship because he's known as kind of like that workhorse champ that always has banger matches. Why not have 2 in one WrestleMania? So, yeah, Gunther is definitely a high possibility. Now, the ring review. Would you like to share your opinion on who could win?
Yeah, sorry, I did not mean to leave. StreamYard kind of kicked me out. I think it
No
was
problem.
glitching a little bit, but yeah, I also have Punk. He's over right now. I I'm not gonna lie, I think they would be a little bit foolish not to do Punk, but I could see, my number two's Cody. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much that's what I got.
There for a little bit, I had Cody at the top. And then I get to thinking, and I'm like, there's no way Cody Rhodes is going to win 2 Royal Rumbles 2 years in a row. That's the Stone Cold kind of thing to do. And he doesn't have the star power of a Stone Cold guy. He's just not that guy to be Stone Cold. And so I don't see it happening. But I know you weren't in here. We were talking about Gunther potentially being that guy to take it down. Him going in to WrestleMania being that guy that won the Royal Rumble and also the guy that's holding the prestigious IC title and potentially working both nights of Mania. So what would your opinion be on Gunther winning? Like, would you like
I'm
to see?
not even gonna lie, I'd be a little mad about that. I really do not think he needs it at all right now.
Yeah, he definitely does
He's got
need
the
it.
IC title. He can win it next year. Like if he's not the champ anymore. Oh, you just let him win it the next year, and he's young enough where he's gonna be here for a while to be able to win it. Who knows how much longer Punk is gonna last, or even how much longer Cody's gonna last.
Yeah, and speaking of how long Punk is gonna last, I know he was working those live events, but he hasn't had a match or a physical altercation on WWE TV. So is he struggling in the ring to the point where they don't want to put him in too many matches so he doesn't get injured? Like that's kind of something that came to my mind of how can he really go anymore? Like could he really hold up a WrestleMania match, the WrestleMania night 1 main event? Like do you think he could do that?
Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, for sure. I really do think he can do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he definitely could. I just something I kind of wanted to point out. I mean, he did have a crazy match with MJF, the collar match or dog collar match, I think it was called.
Yeah.
I mean, so if he can go through all that, I'm sure he can. And we got a long comment right here that I want to read, see what it's got to say. This is the Straight Up Wrestling Show saying Gunther can take over this whole wrestling thing. He has it all. He's very believable and has the look and attitude that can attract the general public. We can't say that about most wrestlers, and that is one of the truest statements I've heard today, because that is so true. He's got that look about it that, I mean, it's just like, ooh, I'm scared of him. Like, he's not the type of guy I would go up walking down the street and like try and talk trash to or nothing like that. I'd be scared of him. And
Yep, yep, yep.
yeah. Then my dad says here, special attraction like Brock, he's not going to be full time. Yeah, definitely agree with that. I don't think if he was to have a match with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, I don't think he would win it. There's no way he's going to win this, because he doesn't deserve the world title right now at this old age. He's not in his prime anymore. It looks like we lost the ring review once again. And speaking of Brock Lesnar, I kind of want to talk about Brock Lesnar a little bit. As we know, Brock Lesnar had a high possibility to be in the Royal Rumble. If you didn't see my YouTube short that I put out there, he has been taken out of the Royal Rumble because of the Vince McMahon allegations, because his name was included in all of that.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar has been removed from the Royal Rumble, so that means he was going to be a surprise guest in it. And I feel like a great thing, if, let's say, this is the possibility, like if the Vince McMahon allegations didn't happen, I think Brock Lesnar would have gotten thrown out by a being called up Braun Breaker or by Gunther.
Ooh.
Those were the two possibilities, because if you want to have Braun Breaker as this future guy in the company for the next 10, 15 years, I mean, you got to think he's young, so he could be at the top for that long. But Brock Lesnar, he's a Hall of Famer. Nobody can say he's not a Hall of Famer, unless if like all these allegations go crazy. But I'm kind of trying to throw that aside right now and just kind of not think about that, because it's just disgusting. But I think have Braun Breaker throw him out, put Braun Breaker over, because you don't need the win. It's not going to make you look bad. I mean, you were like an amazing UFC fighter. Nobody is going to take this away from your career. And that would have been great. WrestleMania, Braun Breaker makes his WrestleMania debut against Brock Lesnar. Yeah, you got a star on your hands when he's going against Brock Lesnar at his first WrestleMania. So,
Yeah.
and then Gunther, on the other hand, we've all been wanting to see Gunther versus Brock Lesnar, because they kind of have mixed styles. I feel like they would go great in the ring as well.
For sure.
So is there anything you need to add, or anything that you kind of got in mind? Because I know there's a lot to think about in Royal Rumble season. I mean, it's the Christmas time of WWE.
Another entrant just popped in my head. He's been in a Rumble or two before. Bad Bunny could make like a one-off appearance, which would be cool.
That
But
would be Pat
other
McAfee.
than that, like Pat McAfee. I hope he does where he's like on commentary again. Like last Rumble, he returned and like
Oh
he
yeah,
didn't tell Michael Cole, and you just got to see his reaction, which was great. But God, I love Rumble season so much. Like,
oh yeah. It's the best kind of match. It's the best premium live event when it comes to like history and how entertaining it is. Like, it's just so good.
yeah, 1000%.
So yeah, very excited. 8 p.m. Eastern is when this show is going to be airing on Peacock. So make sure you are ready. Make sure you got to get yourself some popcorn, because it's going to be a great show. I'm very excited. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that we could kind of mention. I kind of also had something else pop into my head, and that's Jade Cargill. I mentioned that I think she's going to show up. I think we've all been wanting to see Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. Ever since she got signed, everybody was saying Bianca Belair, Bianca Belair. So we know it's going to eventually happen. Why not have Jade Cargill? Because she needs to prove herself in WWE. Even though she was a big star in AEW, she needs to prove herself in WWE. What's a better way to prove yourself than throwing the EST of WWE out of the Royal Rumble? There's no other better way to show up. And I don't
Agree
see
with you.
else for Bianca doing at WrestleMania. I don't think her and the Damage Control. I don't think that's going to last up to WrestleMania.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I think that would be a very cool one. And I think that's all I got.
That's all I got too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciate every single one of you coming through and getting these comments in. We've got Ray Underwood, we've got Brad's Collection, my dad, and then we've got the Straight Up Wrestling Show, Harry. And I do want to say, go check out the Straight Up Wrestling Show here on YouTube. I'm always on that podcast and just like in the comments talking, sharing my opinion. And then we also got my dad's YouTube channel, Brad's Collection, where he opens up fan mail and stuff like that. So go check all of them out. And then Straight Up Wrestling Show comments and says CM Punk will not hold up over this long run. His body is going to fail him, which I do think is true. I hate it for him, but I believe he's injury prone now. Although he looks like he's in great shape, he's like Tiger now. I think that is definitely true because I mean, yeah, he's up there in age, so very, very possible. That's why I don't see him being a strong fighting champion like we want, because you can't take the title from Seth Rollins and expect not to be a fighting champion, because Seth Rollins has been a fighting champion. You got to live up to that expectation that we want the champion on Raw to be a fighting champion. So, and then the Straight Up Wrestling Show says, thanks, Braden, and the Ring Review. Great show. Appreciate that, Straight Up Wrestling Show. Your stream tonight was great, Harry, with the live SmackDown review and ratings and the star rankings and everything. Had a lot of fun in the comments on that one. So, is there anything else got to say, the Ring Review?
Thank you to all the commenters. Brad's Collection. Straight Up Wrestling Show. I'm definitely gonna check you guys out, and then Ray Underwood there. Thank you guys so much for joining in, and Braden, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Cannot wait for tomorrow night.
Oh, yes, it's going to be so good. I'm very excited. And so, yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay tuned to my YouTube channel. I'm going to, right when the show ends, probably the day after or something like that on Sunday, I will have a review and ratings video out to you guys eventually. I'm going to try and get it out as soon as possible because I'm excited for this show. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you for coming on here at the Ring Review.
Thank you, Braden.
Of course.